Making sure I've got everything I need.
Nothing like a cup of coffee at 7:30 p.m.
There's no right or wrong time for a cup of coffee.
I agree, absolutely.
Although I drank my coffee earlier and I still needed a little boost, so now I'm having a big red.
Nice.
Which I don't normally drink those, but we had some in the house.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to drink them, and I'm like, well, it's got caffeine in it. I'm gonna drink it. It's not great, but whatever. That'll be the beginning. Just coffee and Big Red. That's gonna start this off.
Yeah. I'm happy with that.
Hi everyone. We're actually back with another Slashed and Mashed, which I feel like we just recently did one of those, but that's all right. This is a special occasion, not like the happiest of specialists occasions, but we're gonna make it a joyful celebration.
Yeah.
We're slashing and mashing the 2 studio albums from Iron Maiden featuring the vocalist Paul Di'Anno, who recently passed away, and so we thought it would be good to pay some tribute to him and slash and basically, take the songs from both the albums we think are the strongest and put it together in one awesome Paul Di'Anno showcase.
Mm-hmm.
So that's today's episode. And hi, if you're new, normally we're called Cranked and Ranked because we normally rank band discographies. I guess we could rank these 2 Iron Maiden albums. We already did Iron Maiden years ago. And I'm Old Head, and that is Eddie Sparxx. I feel like I don't introduce ourselves. Allow myself to introduce myself. Anyway, that was kind of this is why I don't do intros, because it never goes very well.
It's okay. But the loose vibe is part of the charm.
Loosey goosey. But before we get started, I have another email to read.
Oh,
I need to put on my glasses.
Emails.
Yeah, and so whenever we get a good email, just kind of I don't know, praising us, we're always going to read it. You can send emails to oldheadpodcast@gmail.com. Or if you can't remember that, you can go to oldheadnetwork.com. That's my website, and there's a way to contact me through there. And there's all these kind of things. But anyway, this is, and I have to apologize to this individual because he has an unusual first name that I don't know how to pronounce. His first name is spelled H-U. Yeah. How do you say that? Gium?
I believe it's Gaim.
Gaim. All right. No, his name is spelled H-U-W. H-U-W.
Oh,
you think it's just Hugh? H-U-W.
Yeah, I would have thought Hugh.
Hugh. Yeah. All right. So he sent us an email, and I always like to read these because I feel like it's important. We've been doing this long enough now that I feel like we need to acknowledge that there are people out there that get something out of the nonsense that we put out week after week.
Yeah.
So here is Hugh's. I'm just going to call him Hugh. Hugh, if you're watching this, correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe like phonetically spell out how you pronounce your name.
It's Hugh. I've looked it up.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Says, Dear Old Head, just want to say thanks to you and Eddie Sparxx for doing what you guys do. I'm 32. Listening to Cranked and Ranked is responsible for making me fall in love with music again after years of feeling jaded. Every time I'm in the car on a long journey, you can bet it's on. You've also got me back into buying CDs. One of my biggest joys as a kid was going to HMV and browsing through records. Somewhere along the line, I started streaming and lost touch with that love. I've been making up for lost time and have found pure joy in building my collection again and picking up albums I missed the first time around. Here's just a few of the records I've either discovered and fallen in love with or have just felt inspired to add to my collection, all thanks to your podcast. The Fragile by Nine Inch Nails. That's a good one.
Nice.
He put 1987 by Van Halen. I'm assuming he meant 1984, or yeah, because they didn't release an album in '87, but I'm assuming that's what he meant. But that's a great album. America's Least Wanted by Ugly Kid Joe.
Oh, classic.
Pump by Aerosmith. A few Ozzy ones. No More Tears, Diary of a Madman, Blizzard of Oz. He got into those through us. That's great. The Eminem Show.
Nice.
Lateralis by Tool, obviously. Images and Words by Dream Theater.
Ah, nice.
Power Slave by Iron Maiden. Here's my favorite, Lulu by Metallica. Yeah. Countdown to Extinction, Rust in Peace, and Euthanasia by Megadeth.
Awesome. Sailing
the Seas of Cheese by Primus.
Hell yeah.
Seasons in the Abyss by Slayer. And last but certainly not least, Chaos AD by Sepultura.
Chaos AD.
Those are all, yeah, I'm just, some of those are like I'm less crazy about, but like that is a good cross section, as they say, of like stuff we've talked about.
Absolutely.
And that's great just to turn, because that's what it's all about for me. It's like we always talk about it. There's no like rules to like the music you enjoy. You just enjoy whatever it is. And if one day you're wanting to listen to Lulu and the next day Aerosmith Pump or whatever, it's like just fucking do it.
Good music takes all shapes and forms.
Yeah,
and
I'm only halfway through his email, by the way.
Oh, wow.
It said, I also compiled my own Load and Reload album mashup inspired by you guys. I agree. There's almost an S tier album in there somewhere. I agree. Anyway, I hope messages like these spur you on to keep going with it. I'd be gutted if you guys packed it in. I love how like certain phrases let me know that he's from the UK.
Yeah.
He said HMV, and then he said, I'd be gutted if you guys packed it in.
Yeah. The gutted was a dead giveaway. The HMV left it open to maybe Canada, maybe, but yeah. Oh, dude, hearing that is awesome. Always love to hear emails like that.
Yeah. And as usual, he's wrapping it up here with, here's my 10 cents on some bands I'd love you guys to cover, although I'm sure you've already got them in your plans. Some of these for sure. Avenged Sevenfold, The Beatles, Opeth, Dillinger Escape Plan, Foo Fighters, Gojira, AC/DC, Deftones, Extreme, Meshuggah, Jimi Hendrix, Radiohead, Queens of the Stone Age, and Pink Floyd.
Yeah, those are some good ones.
Yeah, and so he wraps it up saying, also, my band Koyo, K-O-Y-O, just released our new album too. I reckon you and Eddie might dig it. Progressive, psychedelic, alternative rock stuff. I've linked it below if you fancy checking it out. We're based in Leeds. Maybe we can hop on a bill with Sage sometime, he said.
Hey.
So here's the thing. I went to go, they've got legit stuff out there. This band, Koyo is the band. But here's the thing, like I went there and I usually just go to like somebody's social so I can like, see what they're all about. And all I know is I clicked on their Instagram, and you know how you go to Instagram and it says if you have a mutual that follows them, you're like, you followed by. It just says followed by Gojira.
Oh shit. Dude.
So so Hugh's band is apparently of that caliber. I heard a little bit of a couple songs and it's actually pretty cool. And everyone out there, Koyo, go check out Hugh's band, Koyo. And, it is very like, what's that band very recently that, Howard turned me on to them, but they're like I think I mistakenly called them British, but I think they're actually Australian, like, fuck, whatever. It doesn't matter. They're like a progressive rock band. and they're good. Anyway, so thanks you for the email, and everybody go check out Koyo. And speaking of that, I can I talk about Sage's album on our episode?
Yeah, you can. You can. There are a few things we're going to go back over and tweak. There's like one or two song related things that we've heard listening back that we are going to tweak, but they're mostly like timing things in a couple of songs. But aside from that, yeah.
I may have heard those.
Yeah.
They didn't bother me that much. Mm-hmm. But so yeah, like Eddie's in a band called Sage. He's a drummer.
Yeah, boy. I'm producer.
And they're putting out their first album, which is eight tracks, but don't let that fool you. It's not short. Well, I guess it's kind of short, but it's like the songs themselves are not short. There's no short songs really. Not that I remember.
It's weird. Some of them occupy that kind of 4-minute zone where is it a long song or is it just a standard rock length song?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So the album is called Blinded?
Blinded, yeah.
Blinded. So I got an early copy because I'm special. And like we were getting ready because it was me and my wife's 5th year anniversary yesterday, our wedding anniversary, 5 years. And so we threw a little party and we were like setting up everything, and I had my earbuds in while I was like cleaning and stuff, and I listened to like the whole Sage album, and like I had such a blast listening to it. But like the one thing that like I kept thinking all the way through it is it sounds like if there was an album in between Facelift and Dirt.
Yeah.
It's like it's got a very. It's like it's not necessarily. It's got grungy elements to it, but it also has some big '80s rock elements in it as well.
Yeah.
So if that sounds good to you guys out there, then this is a thing to listen to. I have a question though, because I was curious about the songs. Like, do you? I like how I'm interviewing you now about your band. Sorry, Paul Di'Anno. We will get to you. Do you guys collaborate on songwriting? How does the songwriting happen?
A lot of these songs are songs myself and Callum, the frontman, have been sat on for a while. But
do you? I know you play guitar, so do you write some of the riffs too?
Yeah. I've written some of the riffs and stuff. I played a few harmony parts on the guitar solo in Bone Garden as well. But nice. Yeah, it's really, we kind of came with a few songs each. Sick was mine from way back in the day, and an old band I was in, and the rest of the songs really were Callum. The song Hades Harp has a riff in it that I wrote, but I've taken the reins on the production side of things thus far. So we definitely we wanted that early 90s, one foot in like Aussie era, Zakk Wylde era Aussie, and the other foot in like full-blown Alice in Chains Soundgarden zone. So really the way I'd describe it is if you like grunge and groove metal and those happening at the same time, it's like slightly shreddier Alice in Chains.
There's also some riffs that are more that feel more groove metal than grunge. So my only real critique, and this just depends on what you're going for with the album, was that I liked the overall production, but I felt like sometimes the vocals sounded like they were floating outside of the mix.
That's something we ran into. Firstly, was we were listening on a lot of different platforms, and we were noticing the vocals felt a little bit too tacked on top. So overall, we decided, well, we've gone this far with quite a reverb heavy thing. Yeah, let's have everything kind of sit in the same space and just make it sound kind of cavernous.
I feel like that's something that I could get used to, but just on first listen, that's the best way I can put it. It felt like here's the music and there's like a voice that's kind of floating up here.
Yeah, we definitely went the route of we were just listening to it with the vocals up front, and it sounded weird. It sounded weird to us, especially when we did stuff like the car test, the Bluetooth speaker test.
Yeah, yeah.
And there were just moments where we were like, man, the vocals are way up front and everything is getting lost. So really, it's just, I mean, none of us are professional producers, but
Yeah.
we've pretty much just consistently. I wish you could have seen it. We literally just spent like 2 hours exporting a song from in here, walking all the way out around the front of the house, getting in the car, listening to it, and thinking, just a little bit too much low end. Come back in, scoop a bit more low end out.
Yeah.
Still a little bit too much low end, and then there's too much high, there's too much mid, and then you just suddenly, yeah.
If you kept that up, the album would never be finished.
Yeah. So we did eventually have to make some little concessions with where the vocals are going to sit, but ultimately we went the route of, let's have the album exist in a space and kind of let that run the show a little bit. We're as vibe focused as we are riff focused. So we want to we want atmosphere. Yeah.
It probably does. Also, it doesn't sound as the same way in a car or somewhere else, because I was in two like earbuds. And sometimes that's the weird thing is is like over the years, and maybe it's just my ears because my ears have taken a beating for 30 plus years, but albums sound better to me when there's a room involved. Yeah. So I rarely listen to stuff in earbuds or headphones because for some reason it doesn't, I don't know, there's something about it that doesn't sound as good to me. Like it needs to travel through some air or something for me. But
yeah. And we were initially gonna we were basically following a YouTube mastering tutorial, but then we realized it was just blowing out our mix and getting that modern rock thing, which we didn't want to go for.
Did you master it via the same, like, it's also through it, what is it, Logic? Is it also
Logic
mastering
Pro.
in Logic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We tried to do the whole complicated thing, but then we realized that there is just this thing called a mastering assistant, and we just found that we got such a better result with that than faffing around with multi-pressers and things like that. And
that's what I did with my last song I put out. I just used a free sort of mastering thing, and like I tried a couple different ways to do it, and I went, oh, this one actually sounds really good. And for those of us who we're not making fuck all, making fuck all money from what we're putting out, then it's like, it's going to be free and whatever. We might as well take the easiest with good results kind of route. Anyway, do you have a release date in mind or anything like that?
Basically, it's a case now of, I think after we've done this episode, I'm going to go straight into Logic and line up those last little timing issues, because we were on a bit of a time crunch and we were just saying to ourselves, let's just get a whole album bounced off today and see how it sounds. And if it sounds fine, great. If not, there are a couple songs where we spotted stuff that we know we can fix. And it's one thing having something like a squeaky bass pedal or something charming. It's another thing when the guitar riff is just slightly off of where it needs to be. So that's when it goes from a charming little anecdote to just bad form. All right. Yeah, for sure.
We'll keep an eye out for Sage's debut album, Blinded. Blinded and the debut went together. Anyway,
Blinded. They blinded me.
So yeah, coming soon to all your platforms and shit. But now moving on from brand new music all the way back to music that came out when I was just a little toddler, and Eddie wasn't even a twinkle in his dad's ball sack. So I mean, and so we're going to be talking. We already said it. Slash and Mash, Paul Di'Anno. So like the way we do this is we go through both albums. and we first read through the track lists, and songs that we both decided to cut just get thrown out, and songs we both decided to keep get put in like these are the ones list. And then if there are any sort of overlaps, then that's when we have a little debate. I actually, the way it worked out was perfect because we're planning on doing a 10 song compilation. It actually ended up being 5 songs from each got the green check mark from me. So that makes me curious. Like, oh, would we actually match up on, could this be the shortest slashed and mashed ever? Where we're just like, all right, we totally agree, moving on. But either way, I think it's important to talk about these albums. I have to admit something that, like, I am an Iron Maiden fan. Like, I wouldn't consider that myself. I have a pretty good vinyl collection of Iron Maiden stuff, all the way up to Fear of the Dark. After that, it's just random shit. But I've noticed that my enjoyment of Bruce Dickinson Iron Maiden comes and goes. Where sometimes I am just not in the fucking mood to listen to Bruce Dickinson Iron Maiden stuff. But these 2 albums, anytime you throw on either one of these first 2 Iron Maiden albums, I am ready. Like I guess that would make them my favorite Iron Maiden albums because there is no particular mood. As soon as like note 1 of either one of these albums comes on, I'm just like, oh fuck, yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
So
I guess that may come from the fact that they probably are the most meat and potatoes Maiden. But at the same time, I get where you're coming from because like from like kind of Number of the Beast, there's then like a really big progression onward, with they're getting more expansive and more progressive and more all these things here. So they tend to have their own specific kind of moods, whereas these are just kick-ass early 80s metal albums.
And it's super fucking influential. Like so many bands that we love, this was like these albums were a big deal. So we can start off in order and start off with the self-titled from 1980 Iron Maiden, which I've always loved how kind of fucking weird the Eddie character looks in this one.
Yeah, and I always felt conflicted about the the 98 remastered artwork. It's like I get what they were going for, trying to make him look more, more evil. I actually think he looks scarier on this original album cover.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if I saw the remaster version of Eddie, I'd think Halloween decoration. If I saw the original Eddie out in the street, I'd run like fuck. Look at that thing.
Yeah. I think everyone's seen the video of James Hetfield talking about how he picked up this album basically just because of the artwork. He didn't know who they were. And also even the picture on the back is fucking cool. Just that live photo, but it's like it's almost like an in-between songs live photo, and I've always thought that was kind of cool because they're not in the middle of doing anything. Yeah. But it has a cool vibe, like they're getting ready to fuck your shit up. Like just this is when you're having a breather because you're not currently listening to the album. Anyway, so let's get to work. Funny enough, probably my least favorite song on the entire album is the opener, Prowler.
Okay, interesting.
Because I just don't really like the lyrics that much, and I've always I don't know why I've never really liked the vocal melody and the lead melody that comes in the beginning. I've never really liked that for some reason. So I didn't choose Prowler just because it's not a really strong start for me compared to other songs on this album. So I didn't choose it. Did you choose Prowler?
I kept Prowler. I thought it's kind of an iconic, at least to my ear at this point, it's kind of the iconic first few notes that we got to hear of Iron Maiden. So I'm kind of like I wouldn't. I'd feel weird about getting rid of it on account of like the fact that that just little bit is just that initial burst of energy that Iron Maiden put out to the world on
Yeah,
this
I guess
album.
maybe if I had heard the album in 1980, maybe I'd feel different about it. But I just,
Yeah. I mean, I think honestly, what makes it sound kind of herky jerky is the production. I think
mm,
were it to have been done on Killers, it would probably sound a lot smoother. And I know Steve Harris wouldn't want anyone to, I know he's going to be pissed at this, but people always bring up Punk on the first Maiden album, and he
yeah,
hates that, and I know he hates that, but there is that raw, non-produced sound on this album that
yeah.
that style of music was
I
known
think
for.
that what happened with that is that he himself may not have been directly influenced by punk, but I
Hmm.
think both of those genres were inhabiting similar spaces.
Yeah, yeah,
And so even if they weren't listening to each other, there were aspects at that point that were overlapping. And
yeah.
I like that. But see, but funny enough, like here's the thing. Here's another reason why I got rid of Prowler. The entire rest of the first side is perfect to me. Like
Okay.
Remember Tomorrow, Running Free, Phantom of the Opera. I would not get rid of those. All got green check marks because like it's all three of those songs are fucking amazing to me.
I was going to ask actually as well. Which track listing are we going off? Because there's umpteen different track listings. The UK version originally didn't have Sanctuary on it.
Yeah, I have an American pressing and it has Sanctuary on it.
Right. Okay. Because on
But
funnily enough,
I didn't choose Sanctuary anyway. So
okay. Because I was just going to say because I'm going off of the one I always knew, the track list I always knew, which was Prowler, then Sanctuary, then Remember Tomorrow, Running Free, Phantom of the Opera, Transylvania, Strange World, Charlotte the Harlot, Iron Maiden.
wait, Sanctuary is track number two?
Yeah, they in the 1998 remastered Onward has
Wow.
been Sanctuary at track two.
Yeah, this one Sanctuary is on side two on the 1980 American pressing.
Yeah, and it's strange.
So the after Prowler side one is Remember Tomorrow, Running Free, and Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
So
so Remember Tomorrow. Let's talk about that one. I That one got a big old green check mark for me.
yep, that's a green check mark for me as well.
Okay, so then we
Yep.
know that one's staying, and then Running Free, I've always loved.
I'm running free.
That
Yeah,
is
we're
just
keeping
a
it. Yep.
good, yeah, it's a good feeling, getting ready to go type of song. It really pumps you up. Phantom
Yeah.
of the Opera, same thing. I think Phantom of the Opera is like, I love it because it's like even on this early album, there's like I guess an epic for this,
Yeah.
album, and I just think it's cool as hell. What did you keep Phantom of the Opera?
I've got I've got a couple songs on the first album. Thing is, I like the album Killers a lot more than the debut.
Yeah, me
So
too. Me
I
too.
kind of prioritized that track listing so I'd have like six from Killers and four from the debut.
Got
Just
it.
to have that little bit extra over. Phantom of the Opera, I was thinking to myself, it does have a lot of like promise and a lot of it shows off where they would end up going. But
Uh-huh.
there is something's always bothered me about the singing part
Oh
where
yeah,
I'm just kind of like it just
I
it
love
feels
that.
I know and like I've just been thinking in my head though, does it put me in the mindset of fuck yeah, or does it kind of put me in the mindset of that's a mouthful. So that I've always found that kind of distracting in the song.
Yeah,
Past that point, yeah, but it just that always kind of left like a weird taste in my ears.
okay, I get
That
that.
that
Well,
being said, like the rest of the song, I love. It's just that singing the exact same guitar line, which is already a weird fucking guitar line, and I
yeah.
think it's cool. But did I think it was as cool as the songs that I decided to keep? And real quick, while we're here, just because we're coming up on Transylvania, it's safe to say that because this is a Paul Di'Anno showcase, we're not keeping the instrumentals.
Yeah, let's just remove Transylvania because there's
Ides of March and Genghis Khan as well. In that case,
Ides of March. I'll go ahead and just delete those. We won't even talk about those. Ides of March.
They kick ass. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but that's there's no Di'Anno unless he's like, breathing heavily in the microphone or something. I don't know.
Snarled over in the corner waiting to come back.
Yeah. So but yeah, then that brings us on side 2 with Strange World, which I also like, and I also decided to keep.
See, I omitted that one because I always thought it was a little bit of a. I mean, I like it as like a ballad, but I also was thinking, would it lose momentum?
So the big reason why. So my thinking was that there are the songs where when they slow down, it allows Paul to be more of the star of the show.
That's a really good point. You've swayed me a little bit there.
To be fair, we get some of that in Remember Tomorrow, so maybe we don't need this one as well. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe, yeah. I tell you what, I'll upgrade it from a red to an orange on my little thing.
Okay.
Because you have influenced my opinion.
Yeah. Speaking of reds, Charlotte the Harlot. I got rid of Charlotte the Harlot. I apologize to Dave Murray because that's his only contribution to this album.
I had it as orange. I have it as Take It or Leave. I like it as like a fun, silly number, but I don't know if it's the best reflective.
We should get rid of that one then because neither one of us is 100%. And at the end of the day, we are going to have 10 songs. Now, I'm going to fight if we don't put Iron Maiden on this comp because I love that song. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's another one. Like, honestly, Iron Maiden and Running Free are both songs that, like, you put them on, and I'm just like, if I'm in a bad mood, I'm instantly in a better mood.
Dude, I was literally, all I could think of then was, like, you know the movie Speed? With the bus?
Oh,
I just got thinking there, he's not crazy about Phantom of the Opera, but he's keeping Iron Maiden, which puts him in the crazy but not stupid section.
Yeah. So Iron Maiden for sure. So which ones were the for sure's? Remember Tomorrow, Running Free, and Iron Maiden? Those three were like for
those
sure?
three. Bam. Yep, in the bag. So, ding.
Okay, and then
put a little asterisk next to the ones that we're keeping. Boom.
So really, okay. Well, yeah, we'll come back and we'll discuss the remaining tracks on that one. But we got to move on to. I agree. This is people often say that this is the weaker of the two albums, but it is my favorite of the two, Killers. Is probably my favorite Iron Maiden album cover.
Oh yeah. There's something about that.
There's a lot of great Iron Maiden album covers, but this one is it just looks fucking cool, but still a little bit indie. Like it doesn't look too fancy. Like if I was a kid in '81, this would look like a fucking Dangerous album to me.
Yeah. The thing I like about the original, like the first two album covers as well, is that they literally take place, like they're not in Egypt, they're not in space, they're not, some grand deity out on some
they're
ice.
On the streets.
Yeah, literally the aesthetic of these first two Iron Maiden albums is, it basically plays out like the Iron Maiden album cover is like what you see before the scene of Killers plays out. So it's like, he's about to start fucking your shit up, and by Killers, he's hacked half of your arm off.
I do like that it is almost like a they used to have those reality shows, like a makeover show. Like this is the before, and he looks way more fabulous
Yeah, yeah.
Like this
absolute, absolute slay.
like this one looks like I'm not quite sure what's going on, but I'm crazy. And this one's like, I know exactly what's happening now. I'm gonna chop you with this hacksaw. It's not a hacksaw, hatchet. That's what that is.
Yeah.
I mean, then I'm gonna go to the sex shop. Because there's a sex shop.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. And I like the variety of colors in the windows too.
Oh yeah, me too. And then we have an action shot on the back of this one where they're in the middle of playing a song, and with you got the Eddie the Ed, right there.
Why did we call him Eddie? He was an Ed.
He's an Ed. Yep. Yep. That's that. I honestly, that's the best coming up with a name ever. We named our mascot based on a mispronunciation of a word that's a very normal mispronunciation in England.
Yeah.
But
oh man, yeah. I've their artwork has always been kick ass.
Yeah.
Derek Riggs. Yeah, he's the guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And then my version is an American version, which includes the song Twilight Zone, which I did not keep anyway, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Okay.
But yeah. So anyway, so we got rid of Ides of March because it's an instrumental. I kept Wrathchild because I really like that one.
Yep, that's fair to say. We're both keeping that. Yeah. Goes without. That's one of those goes without saying tracks where it's like, you'd have to be high as shit.
I also kept Murders in the Rue Morgue.
Nice. Keeper.
I also kept Another Life.
Keeper. There we go. Nice. What an absolute streak we are on.
Then obviously we got rid of Genghis Khan. And I did not keep Innocent Exile.
I had a maybe on Innocent Exile, so I am just knock that one out.
Whoa, what the fuck did I just do? Like I deleted the whole. This is my problem with technology is I'll do shit like, why did I just deleted the whole goddamn thing? Okay, so there we go. All right, so that brings us to side 2. Which Killers I get. Why does it say it's a check and it says 58? Like, why did I write 58 there? I kept Killers. Killers is fucking great.
I kept Killers.
Okay, this is going to be a Killers heavy, and then of course Twilight Zone, which I like Twilight Zone, but I didn't keep it. I just don't. It's not a non-essential track in my opinion.
That's a maybe for me. I had it as a certain, but I'm now kind of I'm thinking about how much I liked Prodigal Son.
I got rid of Prodigal Son.
Oh man, I'm torn now.
Honestly, God, how do you prodigal son, fucking shit.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get rid of it just because I can't pronounce the word, but it's all that one's always kind of stuck out like a sore thumb to me on the album. And I don't not like it, but if I had to pick a least favorite on this album, it would be that one.
I kind of pinned it as a maybe on account of basically what you said for Strange World, I said for Prodigal Son.
And that once again is a good point.
Yeah. Tell you what, I'll leave that as a maybe and yeah.
Okay. Purgatory. I kept Purgatory.
Purgatory is staying. Well. Yes.
And then I X'd out on Drifter because Drifter is just okay.
I've got Drifter as maybe, so I'm just gonna axe that one because neither of us are 100% on it.
This is super quick here, but we do have some tracks to because we have how many absolute keepers do we have on from Killers now?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught the fish alive. Yes.
So 5.
And then I killed it with my.
And then we have a maybe which is Prodigal Son. I
had a maybe for either Prodigal Son or Twilight Zone, but if neither of us are sure about Twilight Zone, I didn't
keep it.
Okay, cool.
So then when we go back to the debut, we
the debut
are
nice.
Are the motherfucker. The maybes were Prowler, Phantom of the Opera, and Strange World.
Yes.
What were the and so the for sures are.
So we're getting rid of Sanctuary. Sorry, I forgot to mention that one. I had it as a maybe. You had it as a no.
No, I didn't keep it.
Okay, cool. Yep, we're maxing that one.
So our definites from this one are Remember Tomorrow, Running Free, and Iron Maiden.
Mm-hmm.
So that leaves us with one track, right?
Let's 1, 2, 3,
or 2,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 2 tracks left.
2 tracks left. So really, we got to think about. I feel like I might throw this over to you because I feel like to give it a little bit more of a variety, we should choose one of either Strange World or Prodigal Son. So because I'm kind of on the fence about both of them. Well, no, Strange World Strange World is the one I want, but I think both of them kind of get the job done. So I want to leave it up to you.
You know what? I'm thinking about it, and I think it should be Strange World because Strange World's got kind of a vibe all its own.
Okay.
And you really wanted Strange World, and I'm kind of up in the air about Prodigal Son, so we'll put that one across there. So now the question is, it's literally between Prowler and Phantom of the Opera, and upon looking at this now,
I clearly I like one more than the other, but
yeah, and I will concede that I'm going to go ahead and say Phantom of the Opera has more to offer. So, bada boom, bada bing.
Damn.
Prowler, I'm afraid, as much as I like it as an opening track, Phantom of the Opera just has a lot more. It's longer and it's got more variety and it's got kind of it's kind of like how the Four Horsemen on Kill 'Em All kind of showcases the types of stuff they would go on to do.
Yeah.
I think Phantom of the Opera is a really good thing for that. And I think the only thing that was making me feel slightly weird about the 7-minute opus was just that one little guitar. And now that I think about it in my head, that's fucking epic. What was I thinking at the time? See that there completely redeems it for me. I don't know what I was thinking at the time. I think I was just being super harsh to the first album because I was in killer's mode. So
yeah. Well, I love how we ended up with 5 and 5.
Yeah, so now we're tasked with the ordering. Yes, exactly. The sequencing.
And you know what? Do you know what? Like last time, what was the last the fight slash and mashed we did? Do you remember one thing we forgot to do?
What's that?
Come up with a title for our album. So this time, let's not, because we can just call that one Fight. Fuck it. Who cares? It's already in the past.
Skirmish of Paragraphs.
So, yeah. So for this one, I don't even know what it would be because literally you have one album called Iron Maiden and another one called Killers. Yeah, I don't fucking know.
You know what? Phantom of the Track List. I don't know. Another album.
Yeah. Remember Paul Di'Anno. Remember Di'Anno.
Yes.
Because that sounds like Remember Tomorrow, only it's Remember Di'Anno.
Yes.
You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen. If you're making one of these playlists for yourself, I've come up with an amazing title. I normally don't do that. Eddie's usually the title guy.
That was tasteful. That was very tasteful. So I guess we're yeah.
Where do we go now? We got to put them in an order.
I'm wondering if we should flip the script and open it with Iron Maiden.
Oh, yep. I like that. Hold on. Let's do this. Let's do this. So Iron Maiden starts us
Get
off.
it started. You thought I was going to do the other one.
Originally titled "Let's Get Retarded," but which I still think is funny that there's that version out there just floating around that
And
somebody's
that was the version on the album.
on the album.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a little Black Eyed Peas. Who would have thought? Like that's what our show is all about. Where we're talking about Iron Maiden and the Black Eyed Peas somehow come up.
Oh man.
So that's a straightforward motherfucker of a song. So we should maybe follow it up with something a little more complex or something. I don't know. Or should we just do a 1-2 punch?
I think a 1-2 punch is the way to go. Should Wrathchild or something? Wrathchild, Running Free, any of the rockers.
I guess I was gonna say Murders in the Rue Morgue, but then I don't know. But then I don't know where to put Wrathchild at that point. But
I think Murders might be the way, because
that's
that
a good.
Yeah.
Murders
I
in the
agree.
Rue Morgue. Number 2. Who
Murders
does
in the
number
Rue
2
Morgue.
work for? And really, we can just use how they have it remaining for us here, and Remember Tomorrow is number 3 because it brings it down a little bit. Or should we wait to bring it down on number 4?
4 is a tried and tested place.
Just like the Sage album, where the 4th song is the slower track.
Absolutely, it worked for Metallica. What, like,
worked for fucking everybody.
yeah, yeah. It's best place for a ballad slot. Track 4. So far we've got Iron Maiden,
And then
Murders in the Rue Morgue.
yeah.
So I guess we're putting Strange World at 4. If we're thinking ballad track.
I was thinking Remember Tomorrow because it slows it down a little bit, but not too much. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
You don't do that for 3 or 4 for Remember Tomorrow.
Remember Tomorrow for track 4.
Yeah, because then I think Strange World is a good second half slow song.
Yeah. So what are we thinking for? So we got Iron Maiden, Murders in the Rue Morgue,
and then something in between Murders and Remember Tomorrow. If we're going back and forth here, we could do Another Life.
Yeah, that could work. Yeah, another life. Nice.
And then brings us to Remember Tomorrow. And then this would be technically the ending of side 1. How do you feel about ending side 1 with Rothschild?
Sounds good to me.
Is that a good, that's a good, it's kind of taking the song and utilizing it for something different. Instead of opening an album, it's closing a side.
Yeah, I think that's a good.
And then I feel like side 2, it would be cool to open it with Running Free.
Ooh, okay. I have a thought.
Okay.
What if you're halfway through the album, flip it over?
I mean, yeah.
Like I feel like a good time to bust out an absolute epic is the start of side B.
You know what? Now that okay, here's my thought. So first off, I agree. I'm with you. Let's do Phantom of the Opera on site. But because I started thinking about, well, we're doing another of the first album, so we wouldn't want to follow it with Running Free. But then all of a sudden, I just thought, like, how meaningful would it be if the last song on the Di'Anno thing is Running Free?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a tribute, like Di'Anno's, he's shuffled off the mortal coil now, he's running free, and that would wrap us up. Since we started with Iron Maiden, with Iron Maiden would normally have ended an album. So that would mean, oh motherfucker, what did we do? Murder. So we have Phantom of the Opera. So then we should put, is Purgatory? We saw Purgatory, right?
Yep.
So Killers or Purgatory should go after Phantom of the Opera, right? It feels.
It's deciding which one, because where is Strange World gonna go? Do you want to put Strange World at 8? Or 9?
Yeah. No, I'd say at 8.
Okay.
I feel like it should be Purgatory, Strange World, Killers, and then Running Free.
Purgatory, Strange World, Killers, Running Free. I like that because it's almost like the title track of the first album kicks things off. The penultimate track of the track list is the title track from Killers.
Yeah.
So, and finishes off with Running Free.
Running Free, which is a very nice ending to that. So I have it split up on mine with the two sides, and that looks good. Like, I'd like this on vinyl here. Let's get it done. So kicking it off with Iron Maiden into Murders in the Rue Morgue, then Another Life, then Remember Tomorrow, and then Rothschild closing out side A. And then Phantom of the Opera opens side B, followed by Purgatory, and then slowing it down with Strange World, bringing it back up with some iconic, Killers, and then Running Free, like taking us home. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
I'm really proud of us.
Yeah.
That's a fucking list, dude.
And it makes me think now. I don't know. I don't think I talked. I don't know if I talked about this on one of our episodes, but a little over a month now ago, we had to put our oldest dog down.
Oh, man. Yeah.
He was old. He was 15, and he had health problems, but we didn't know how bad they were until we had to take him because he was having seizures. Have I talked about this before already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
At least with me. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So he was having seizures, and then they got worse. We had him on like a seizure medication, and then they got worse. So we took him to the vet, and they were like, not only does he have a tumor that's like on his brain that's causing these problems, but he has another tumor on his spleen, and either one of them could just burst at any time. And they were like, look, he's 15. He's not going to survive a surgery. It's like, it's just, and if you let him go now, you can avoid the pain that he might go through if either one of those tumors really causes a fucking huge problems. Anyway, so we had to make the tough decision to put him to sleep, which was really sad. He was technically my first dog. He's my wife's dog that when we got together, she brought him into the house, and he was my first dog. But this is the connection here is that when we were still living in Austin, and he was the only dog at that point, and my wife, went off to work, and I worked from home, and I would sometimes just blast music in the living room. And I could always tell, and I think maybe because he was always like on guard, but when I would play like really loud music, he would relax because he couldn't hear anything except for the music. So it was just like, oh, okay. But it seemed like the one band that I would put on that always, he just had these amazing naps was Iron Maiden, specifically these two Paul Di'Anno albums. I just remember playing songs from this, and he would make a little like pillow area, and he would just be like, oh, and he'd be out. He wouldn't even move
Nice.
until like the album stopped, and he'd be like, "What? What's going on?" And so like, so especially like Running Free and songs like that always remind me of Apollo. Apollo was the dog's name. And so like, I almost feel like I'm paying tribute to him too with this, with that. Cause like, I don't know. It's a nice memory of that dog. And, and then also Paul Di'Anno as well, who, that's a hell of a life, for Paul Di'Anno, just because he unknowingly was part of the beginning of an iconic metal band, but at the time, I'm pretty sure he had no clue.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, he tried to do his own things. Like he had his other band. What was the band in the 80s? He was in a band in the 80s. Paul Di'Anno and something. Was it
There were a couple. He did Di'Anno, and then I think he went after that. It was either Di'Anno went on to be Battlezone, or
Paul Di'Anno's Battlezone?
Yeah,
yeah. Because that's the one I remember, because on MTV on the Headbangers Ball they played that video. Don't wanna know that song. That was so that's like kind of what I know for what he did then. And then obviously he still went out and played shows and did Maiden songs and stuff. But I always think about people like that. Whatever series of events. I'm not like an Iron Maiden expert, so if from what I remember, it wasn't necessarily one camp or the other the reason he left. I don't think he was 100% into Iron Maiden, and they were not 100% into him, and then everything just kind of went their separate ways. But I think about like being on the outside of that and being like, holy shit, this band that like I was apathetic about or whatever, or kicked me out, however it worked, all of a sudden are one of the biggest bands in the world.
Yeah.
I
gotta say, one of my favorite things to do is go on Wikipedia and look at the little like band member timeline graphs they have.
Yeah.
And those are really cool because you can just see all of these dudes who were in Iron Maiden before, mostly guitarists, but they had a couple vocalists as well. Paul Day, Dennis Wilcock before Paul Di'Anno. Imagine being one of those guys who was like
the Pete Best of the Beatles,
yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, on the other hand, imagine living your life and you are literally like these iconic albums, you're on them.
Yeah.
Like that's fucking crazy. And so I don't know. It's always, I mean, I know like he was an older dude and he had health problems, and so it's he lived a fairly good life. He didn't live long enough, in my opinion. I don't get into that. When people are like old and they die, like if you get past 80 years old and then you die and people are like, oh, it's such a tragedy. I'm like, they lived, that was 80 years. That's a pretty good run.
I had a similar reaction when the Queen passed away, where I was like, dude, I mean, she was 96.
Yeah.
That's one hell of a fucking score. Like,
yeah.
I know you're very, popular, iconic person from this country, but I mean, there's a lot of people that die long before that point.
Yes.
And
so when they're, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like my dad passed away and he was 81, 82. And then my mom's still kicking it and she's 84, about to be 84, I believe. So, obviously I don't want either one of them to die, but it's like, I think I'm probably looking at it from my point of view, because I've always felt like I'm just very unhealthy and I'm just lucky to still be here. And so if I make it to 80, I'm going to be like, holy fuck, man, this is awesome.
Dude, I have been trying to be more health conscious recently, but every weekend I end up with a full English fried breakfast in front of me, and I just think to myself, Man, I have no self-control.
That's the one thing though. Like if we when the day comes where I finally am able to make the trek over to England and see you, that's I'm gonna be like, look, we're gonna eat all the worst food. Where's all the most unhealthy food, and washing it down with the beer that already feels like a meal when you drink the beer, like a Guinness or whatever. It's like.
That's the most British thing in the world. Guinness with your fry up. Yeah.
It's just like if you're not truly living the British experience if you don't feel bloated the entire time.
Absolutely. Dude, there's a food truck. There's a food truck. Shout out to this food truck. It's called Griddle. And it's literally. Is that
the one you sent me the picture of?
The one in the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
dude.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah. If anybody is ever in Newquay, that's where they are. They're in the Booker car park in Newquay, and it's chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah, I just saw a picture and I was like salivating over the picture.
Dude, I got their triple griddle meal where it's 3 of everything. Like and it's yeah. I was completely incapacitated by the end of it. Me and Amy were both in the car like, like
well, just
Jim Carrey when he goes off at the end of the gate in the beginning of Dumb and Dumber, where he just jumps right off and he's on the floor like,
yeah. And those I wonder if those images are what's gonna pass through our brains when we're on our deathbeds. Like, remember that full English breakfast?
Worth it. Yeah. Seriously though, man. Seriously, you ever find your way over to rainy old Britain? We're getting you a fucking fry up.
Oh no, I plan on it. I plan on it. We just got to figure everything out, but it'll happen. But anyway, a lot of death talk because and British food because it's Iron Maiden, British band.
This is a very very British episode.
British,
mate.
And rest in peace, Paul Di'Anno.
Rest in peace.
I'm very happy with our slash and mash this time around, and not only that, I love on the last episode where we kind of hit the idea of taking all of these either versions of a band or bands that just did 2 albums, and because I'm excited to do the other 2 Maiden albums, with that guy, as well. With Wolfsbane guy, Blaze Bayley, and then Tim Ripper's Judas Priest albums.
That might be the next one.
Yeah, because I need to revisit those because now that I feel different about.
Can you feel his megabytes?
Now that I feel different about Judas Priest because I'm a legit fan, and as of now I own everything up to Power Slave. So not Power Slave, Painkiller. Jesus, Iron Maiden. Everything up to Painkiller, which means the next step would be getting Jugulator. Yeah. Which, funny enough, they haven't done a reissue of that on vinyl. I wonder why.
You know what always spun me out about that album? Let's have a look. Jugulator, while we're on the subject, is how fucking pixelated I remember that. The zoomed in artwork is for Jugulator.
Whoever fucking made that decision should have been fired because it literally, from what I read, it is one part of a way bigger painting. For some reason the label was like, oh no, just do this one part. Doesn't matter that it's all pixelated looking. It doesn't matter that your next album with your new singer looks like a fucking amateur show.
Yeah, it's the thing that's always bugged me about it is, and I think there may have been a legitimate creative decision where someone was like, oh, it's 1997 and this will look cool if it's pixelated and kind of digital looking. It's like, dude, that's gonna age like fucking milk. Oh.
Yeah. So I'm excited to get to those and then other 2 album bands, obviously.
Mm.
But yeah, wow, we already. I feel like this one just flew by. Like we really
Yeah.
like. It's. I mean, I guess when you're dealing with two albums like these, it's easy work.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those track lists that it's got massive iconic songs in there. You know,
Yeah, it's
by
like
a
because
band.
we literally we didn't butt heads really at all because it's like all the songs are good.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, but there's like a very clear string of classics that are just kind of like. I
yeah.
mean, there was no way in hell that Running Free, Iron Maiden, Wrathchild, and fucking Killers weren't going to make it on here. So,
Yeah. I feel like we
absolutely.
did. I feel like we did Paul Di'Anno good here. Like
Yeah.
we do get to hear a lot more of his. But the fact that we put a couple of slower tracks where you really get to hear him singing.
Hmm.
I mean, he sang on all the other tracks, but you know, he does. He had like a swagger, like attitude to his vocal delivery most of the time. But when it would slow
Yeah,
down, he would really sing there. But
absolutely.
so yeah, so that was great.
That was some good slashing and mashing, if I don't say so myself.
It was, and yeah. And the funny thing is remember we used to in my brain the concept of grooved and removed has kind of slipped away from me where I'm just
Yeah.
like that's not as fun really.
Yeah, I too have kind of that was kind of like a name first and a concept second.
Yeah.
Whereas when the slashed and mashed thing came along, it was like, oh, this is like grooved and removed, but good.
Well, I think we
Yeah,
exhausted the really great grooved and removed because I think though that only really works when we're talking about a band that both of us love everything from these albums. That's a little
yeah,
bit different. But if we start moving on to other stuff where we're like, I don't fucking care, remove whatever song you want,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. Tell you what. How many grooved and removed did we do? Grooved
No
and
clue.
removed. I think we did.
Less than 10.
Yeah. Was it? Oh, the music video for "Grooves in the Heart" by D Light came out.
Oh, the chills that you spill up my back.
Get me feel with satisfaction. You know what always amazed me about that music video is that like at that point. There's like every decade ever happening in that single music video, and I can't pin down which one is like dominating it.
Yeah.
Like, there's the whole thing is just this like era defying what the fuck is going
And I
on.
think
I
if
love
I
it vibe.
was that album was that 1990 when that one
It
came
was
out?
90. Yeah.
I had
So
that
it
on
was like
cassette, so like I was into that album.
nice. Yeah, it's like right at the start of the 90s. Still very 80s with 70s and 60s going on and 90s.
Yeah, but that
It's
was
always messed with my
literally
head.
that was around the time that like my brain started expanding with my music because I had gotten into Faith No More and King's X and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
so it made it very easy for something else that was a maybe not rock music but was still kind of quirky for me to go, oh, I'm into that too. So I got onto the D Light and that B-52s album that came out around then. I was really into that
Yeah.
too. There you go. That'll be a fun one. B-52s cranked and
Yeah.
ranked. That's not they're on the list, guys. If
They are.
anybody's wondering. But yeah. All right, cool. Well, I guess we just wrap it up. At this point, we're just talking to and everybody's just waiting for
Yeah.
the peanut butter platypuses and aluminium squirrels and Belvedere ball sitters and Christmas dogs. Thank you for being here. This has been kind of it feels like it's been short, but sometimes that's how it works.
Short and sweet.
Yeah, yeah. We're
A la Sabrina Carpenter.
is she short?
Yeah, it's the name of her album. And she's
Oh.
4'11".
I don't even know any songs by her. So
It's a good pop album. As far
All
as
right,
pop
cool.
albums go,
I can't keep
bought
track.
it on vinyl. I bought it on
No
vinyl.
fucking way. All right.
That's how much I enjoyed it.
I have trouble keeping up with the pop artist of the day, because it seems like as soon as I know who one is, there's another one, and people are talking about them like they've been around for 20 years, and I'm just like, I've never heard this name before ever. What are you talking about?
Chapel Roan might be the next one. I get the vinyl, but who's the one that my kid is into? Well, I mean, they're into Chapel Roan, but there's the Brat, who did the album Brat. Charlie XCX.
Charlie XCX, that's the one.
Have you seen all of the parodies people have been doing of the Brat album?
No.
On TikTok and stuff. There's this one woman who just like speaks into her like headphone speaker, but it has it running through auto tune, and she'll just like say the most British shit ever, and it just works over the, you know. I just did a line in the back of Aldi. You know, this is amazing.
Nice. All right. See, tune into the Iron Maiden episode where we talk about Charlie XCX and all this other stuff. Anyway, that's the magic of Cranked and Ranked. So thank you.
Yes.
And Slash and Mashed, which was today. And Bangers and Mash, which sounds really good right now. All right. So that's it for this episode of Cranked and Ranked / Slashed and Mashed. And as usual, I'm going to throw it over to Eddie Sparxx, the drummer of the up-and-coming rock and roll band Sage, to take us out.
I'm later, dude. I'm later, dude. I'm later, dude.